It's like all slanted. I need that. All right, man. Okay. Like I said, couldn't get it really that tight. If you want more of it. I had a lubricator, but it's kept $6. There you go. Thank you.
It kind of reminds me of the red fast ripper. So, okay, they went clean on the pads.
You might be right there. Might be. Light was on. Sounds good. What kind of bike is it?
I don't know. It'll probably come apart like this one is a battery. Okay. Yeah.
A little small.
What kind of bike do you have?
Like an old bike from like the 80s.
All right, guys. First ride on the deep red Sebikes Big Ripper. I don't really like to bash bikes. I don't really like to talk down or, you know, make it seem like it's a bad bike, because it's really not a bad bike. The colorway reminds me of a fast ripper colorway. A gold sprocket would have been cool. Black spoke nipples would have been cool too. The red spoke nipples are not too bad, but at least the red sprocket and the red stem is just not making sense to me. Seat as well, like I would have just put a gold lightning bolt on the seat. But the bike's clean. I mean, the red, like I said, it reminds me of that red 2018, 2019 Fast Ripper with the gold rims. The pad sets look like they're the pad sets from the Black Sparkle Big Ripper. I don't know. It's not making sense, but same gear ratio, 36-16. Parts and components wise, there's nothing pretty much different on this bike, but colorway wise, you know, that deep red is clean. Even though I'm not a fan of the 36-16 gear ratios on these, they are smooth when it comes to wheelies. Like you're just pedaling, and every pedal you're just going. But for someone that doesn't know how to wheelie, this gear ratio is going to be hard for them. If you get a big ripper and the gear ratio is too hard for you, I would recommend changing the gear ratio to like a 33-15 or 33-16. Now the beauty of it on these bikes is this bike has a 16 tooth on here, but if you want to put a 15 tooth, it would have to go on this side of the hub, and you would have to remove your old freewheel. Also, if you wanted to do a disc brake conversion, the 15 tooth would go on this side of the hub, and you would have to use the disc brake adapter that'll go on this side. If you're looking for a loud 15 tooth freewheel, I would recommend Ride Out Supply. RideOutSupply.com has good freewheels for your single speed bikes. So remember, freewheels do not go on cassette hubs. They only go on these style hubs, like the Big Ripper. And if you have an HD Big Ripper, like the one on the screen, you're gonna only be able to get a 16 or 17 tooth freewheel, but you won't be able to put a 15 tooth freewheel on an HD Big Ripper, unfortunately. It floats pretty cool though. Just ripping wheelies through Boynton Beach. That's not the new John. I'm gonna have Bicycle throw some hookworms on here, and they're also gonna change the brakes on here as well and install some hydraulic brakes. We'll probably be showing you guys that in a separate video. We might as well throw a freewheel on here as well. If you buy this bike from Bicycle, it's gonna definitely come with a few upgrades, and that was a recommendation I wanted them to do, because like the Bozaks are cool, but a lot of you guys out here like to cut up and stuff like that, and I just don't think that the Bozaks are ideal for cutting up. They're smooth for wheelies though, but when it comes to cutting up, I'm just not too sure. Brake still has the Tektro V brakes on there. I don't know why these bikes don't just come with disc brakes already. I feel like this generation of bike life is out of that V brake era. You know, everybody wants disc brakes, brakes they can trust. You know, the average person that wants to learn how to wheelie, I don't think they're gonna be able to learn how to wheelie on a bike with V brakes. Sometimes the contact and the response time on how quick you need to stop when you're doing a wheelie with V brakes are not always the quickest. And in my opinion, I feel like hydraulic disc brakes are better when it comes to learning how to wheelies. V brakes are not the best at learning how to wheelies, but however, you know, you can try if you just upgrade, you know, the brake system on here. You could put a Pro Max system, you could put a box component system, or you could even put a Magura HS33 hydraulic system on here, which is what we're gonna do to this bike. Or you could just change the brake pads on here to put some cool stops, and you'll probably be able to trust the brakes more. But me personally, I'm a huge disc brake fan. Every time I get one of these big rippers, I always do a hydraulic disc brake conversion on them. It's just because I feel like the bike rides more better and wheelies more better with those kind of brakes. Another thing I always do when I get this bike is I change the gear ratio on here, you feel me? Throw a 3315 tooth on here. Super cool for wheelies, super smooth, and you know, you can't go wrong. Some people may like the 3616, you know, for cruising around the neighborhood or going to long rides where you're gonna be cruising and pedaling fast. The 3616 gear ratio is good for that. The 3316 gear ratio is a good wheelie gear ratio. If you're trying to learn how to wheelie, that 3316 will help you pick that bike up a little bit more easier. If you like the 3616 gear ratio on the bike and you want it to be a little bit more easier to wheelie, you could just change the back sprocket and put a 17 tooth rider supply free rub. Hookworms on this bike would be good. It might make the bike a bit more heavier because these rims are wide. I like the skinnier old rims that SC used to use. I felt like those were a bit more better when it comes to rideability and wheelies. These wider rims are good for like if you want to install fat tires on there, but I don't really be seeing too many people install fat tires on their bikes. So the bike's a good bike though, man. Excuse me, guys. I did start off wheeling bikes on a bike with V brakes, but over time I realized how much funner it is to ride a bike with disc brakes, because I feel like you could trust the bike more, you feel me? So just catching blocks on this thing, first ride. One thing about me, I got them blocks, boy. Just gotta stay focused. Watch the brake control and with the speed. Sometimes you might have to drop back a little bit, hit the brake, but that'll help you slow down so you can keep that wheel up. Hey, and we didn't drop. Kind of dropped the foot just to help keep that wheel up for the U-turn, but we're gonna keep going and head back toward the bike shop, because this bike is for sale at Bicycle. If you are interested in buying it, come check it out. We'll not have these Bozaks on there. We're actually gonna upgrade the tires and put some hookworms on here, but if you're a local of West Palm Beach, Boynton Beach area, stop by Bicycle and check this bike out. Just pulled up to the beach spot, the Big Ripper. Little chill spot right here, Ocean Ridge Beach. Gotta love them Florida beaches, man. You live in South Florida, take advantage of these beaches. Yeah, got the new Big Ripper.